Minasan konbanwa. Hisashiburi da ne. It's been a couple weeks. So what I said right there is ohisashiburi, which is what you say to someone when you see him after a long time, say a couple weeks or a couple months. And it's kind of like the English equivalent of long time no see. So I'd like you to learn that. And that's not the subject of this video, but I'd like you to learn it anyways. I'm going to write it on the board for you. Because it's useful, it's respectful, it's good stuff. O, hi, sa, shi, bu, ri. I'd write it down on a flashcard or something. Ohisashiburi. Say it with me. Ohisashiburi. Now faster. Ohisashiburi. And what do you say in response to that? Well, you can say the same thing back. You can say ohisashiburi. Or something more formal, something more polite. You want to say gobusatashitemasu. Like, I'm sorry for not contacting you, for not writing you. And I'll write that down here too before we get into our lessons. Go, oops. Gobusatashitemasu. We'll just do it like that. Okay. These are kind of long words, but they're words that I use often because I run into people after I haven't seen them for a long time. So they say, "Oh, isashiburi," and I say, "Ah, gobusatashitemasu, isashiburi ne." So they're good to know. I'll give you a second to write them down while I take another sip of coffee. I got a little bit of jisaboke. Jisaboke is jet lag, so it's like very late for me. All right, but what is today's lesson about? Today's lesson is about numbers. I guess I could have left it up there for you, because I got a little story. It was 2 days ago. I was talking to a sergeant inside an office area, and I got excited. I got excited because this guy told me, he said, "You know what? I'm learning Japanese." I said, "Oh man, tell me more. I love learning Japanese. So tell me all about how are you learning Japanese?" He said, "Well, I'm taking a Japanese class on base." I said, "Phew." Immediately what came to my head? That bottom bun, right? He's got that good foundation. Go ahead. What's next? He's like, "Well, I studied a little bit with my wife. Sounds like it's got good cheese. He's got good toppings, right? That good inner circle. Sounds like he's motivated. He's definitely got some meat on his bun." I said, "Okay, well, how often do you practice? Do you use it?" He's like, "Check it out. I got some flashcards right here. And I practice with the Japanese coworkers in here." Dude's got the top bun too. He's eating a cheeseburger. He's got the whole kit and caboodle, right? But when I looked at his flashcards, my jaw dropped. Why? Because he's got kanji on there. The guy's going from 0 to 100 miles per hour in 10 seconds. But maybe that's his motivation. He wants to learn kanji right away. Well, good. More power to him. His motivation, he's got the big, thick cheeseburger, one of the ones that have the knife running through the middle of it just to keep everything together. Cool. Whatever keeps him going. But what he was studying was the numbers, which is the topic of today's video. I'm going to go over Japanese counting, right? Because there's numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Just regular numbers. But those numbers aren't used to order things. I don't go somewhere and say, "Oh, cheeseburger hitotsu," or "cheeseburger ichi onegai shimasu." Maybe they'll understand what you're talking about, but it's not just a general way of asking for things. In fact, there's so many different counters in Japanese. So what I'll do is we'll do like maybe the first 5 numbers, and I'll show you all the different ways for counting, kind of freak you out a little bit, but don't worry, because at the end, I'll teach you the general counter for all types of objects. And that's what I use every day. And hopefully at the end of this video, it's something that you can take with you and go use out in town as well. So for my buddy, right, for that sergeant that was there in that office space, I'm going to go ahead and write the kanji for it right next to the number. I think I'll put on the top first. So we'll start with the English, right? So we'll do 1, 2, we'll do 3, 4, 5, and 6. So he had the kanji for it, ichi. That's it. That's all it is. It's pretty easy to remember, right? One line, ichi. Guess what 2 is? Yeah, you got it. 2 lines. That's ni. What about 3? What do you think that is? Yeah, that's right. Guess what? It's 3 lines. What about 4? All right, now it doesn't follow. It's not 4 lines. So 4, 5, 6. Right? I believe it's correct. Maybe I made a mistake. Who knows? All right, so it's ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku. Right? So I'll write it in English for you. Ichi, ni, san, shi. Sometimes it's yon. I'm not going to tell you why. It's a little confusing. Go, roku. Right? That looks like boku. Like I said, I'm a little jet lagged. All right. So roku, 6. Let me get coffee out of the way. But when it comes to counting stuff, right, these are just numbers that I'd use for like a building number, or I'd use if I'm getting a phone number or giving a phone number. But there's counters for every type of object. For instance, if it's cylindrical, it's ippon, nihon, sanbon, yonhon, gohon. Whoa. If it's a flat object, right, like a piece of paper or a folder, ichimai, nimai, sanmai, yonmai, gomai. If it's floors, like first floor, second floor, third floor, be ikai, nikai, sangai, yonkai, right? Or a counter of things, ikai, nikai, sankai. Or if it's double, nibai, sanbai, right? If it's a living object, ihiki, nibiki, sanbi, ihiki, nihiki, sanbi. It's confusing. I don't even know if I'm getting it correct myself. But there is an catch-all no matter what the type of object is. So if I'm going to a restaurant and I want a beer, I don't got to remember that beers are ippon, nihon, sanbon, right? I don't have to remember that because there's a general counter system, and that's what I'm going to put under the number. So I'll erase everything else, and I want you to write down and remember these, because these are things that you can use if it's French fries, if it's a cheeseburger, if it's a piece of paper, if it's a beer, whatever it is, you can use these general counters when you're out in town ordering stuff. All right, so number 1 is hi, to, tsu. And I'll draw a line here so you know it's different. Fu, ta, tsu. Mitsu. Yotsu. Itsutsu. No, mutsu. So if you want to order 1 cheeseburger, you say cheeseburger o hitotsu, cheeseburger o futatsu, cheeseburger o mitsu, right? If you no matter what you're ordering, biru, right? A beer. Biru o hitotsu, biru o futatsu. No matter what the shape of the object is, if the object's alive, if the object's dead, if it's flat or cylindrical, or if it's anything few and far in between, right, or whatever, you can always use hitotsu, you can always use futatsu, you can always use mitsu. These are things I use every day. So use these because it's great. Now this is going to be a shorter video, but what I'd like to do is teach you how to order something. We'll go with cheeseburgers. So we start off with cheeseburgers, right? So hitotsu, futatsu, mitsu. We'll stick with that because you shouldn't order any more than 1 or 2 beers or 1 or 2 cheeseburgers. It's kind of rare to say, hey man, can I get 5 beers, please? Yeah, 1 at a time. Hitotsu zutsu. All right. So we'll go with beers. Biru o. That's it. So I'll put it in English. Biru, and it's actually wo. W-O. Tatsu. And you say one gaishimasu. Or onegaishimasu, depending on the level of politeness. So practice. I put biru futsu. Futsu means just regular or plain. I told y'all I'm tired. Futatsu. Oh my gosh. Hilarious. There we go. That's better. Biru wo futatsu onegai shimasu. Biru wo. So the beer. Futatsu. 2. Onegai shimasu. So basically, you just have to follow this and this. So you can say, cheeseburger wo futatsu onegai shimasu. Can I have 2 cheeseburgers? Or French fries, which is a weird translation. It's potato, right? Fried potato. But usually it's just potato. Potato wo futatsu onegai shimasu. Let's say you only want 1 beer. You know why? Because you're responsible. So do you remember what that is? How do you say 1? Well, I don't expect you to remember just yet. We just learned it about 10 seconds ago. But if you already remember it, good on you. You're a genius. So here we go. Hitotsu. Biru wo hitotsu onegai shimasu. So next time you go out in town, say you're going to McDonald's, say cheeseburger wo hitotsu onegai shimasu. There's a lot more that goes into going to a restaurant. If it's tanpin, just by itself order, or if you do a mochikairi or tenai. And I think I'm going to do another video a different day for that stuff, because like I said, yo, I am a little sleepy right now. But please remember and study the hitotsu, futatsu, mitsu, yotsu, tsutsu, mutsu, nanatsu, yatsu, kokonotsu to. You don't need to learn all these, because once again, you're just going through, like, you're just ordering probably 5 or less at a time of something. Hitotsu, futatsu, mitsu, yotsu, tsutsu. All right. That is all I have for you today. Thank you for stopping by. Saint Peace out.